beautiful.
It's the sedan that put Acura on the map and showed everybody that you don't need to spend a ton to get a ton. From turbos to all-wheel drive to crazy hybrid systems, this Acura has done it all. There isn't a person in the world who's owned one of these and didn't love it. But why? Well, I'm about to tell you. This is everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Acura Legend. I just want to give a big shout and a huge thanks to Acura for actually sponsoring this episode of Up to Speed. As we'll see, Acura has always been a hyper-focused company obsessed with precision-crafted performance. They have a legacy of purposeful design, but how did this legacy begin? In the early 80s, Honda was hatching a plan. The car maker known round the world for affordable and reliable economy cars was gonna do something a little brazy. They were gonna make some nice ass luxury cars. Internally, it seemed like the logical move. Honda was really good at making great cars that were affordable. Detroit just couldn't keep up. And Honda figured they could bring some of that same kind of fight to the Germans and bring an exquisitely designed sedan to market. There was also a very practical business reason to build more expensive cars for America.
This notification indicates our intent to challenge the continuing discrimination against United States autos and auto parts in Japan.
The US was imposing automotive tariffs on Japan so that Japanese automakers voluntarily limited the amount of cars they sold in the US. Now, because of this limit, Honda had to make more premium cars to make up the difference. That makes sense, right? In 1981, the company got to work on designing its flagship luxury sedan, codenamed Project HX. Honda worked closely with Austin Rover Group over in jolly old England during the design phase. Rover was interested in developing a sedan of their own, which would greatly benefit from having some Japanese engineering involved. The sedan would be powered by the Honda C25A engine, the first time Honda used a V6 in one of their production cars. The car's exterior design wasn't too controversial. It was a handsome and sleek four-door sedan. Rover's version of the car was called the Rover 800 or Sterling 800 as it was known over here in the US. The Rover was different from the Honda on the inside, featuring genuine British woods and leathers. Very luxurious, but there was a bit of the problem. Honda was known in the US for their economy cars, and now they were gonna sell a luxury car? I mean, people might be skeptical. So along with the new car, Honda launched a new company called Acura. And their new sedan would be called the Legend. Now that's bold, all right? That's like naming your son Adonis. What if he turns out to be chubby? Anyway, the sedan launched in Japan as a Honda in 1985, then arrived in the US as an Acura in '86. Alongside the Legend was Acura's second car, the Integra, a sporty compact that we've talked about a million times before. Hey! This is a freaking GSR! I'm gonna put the link to those videos down in the description below. Now, Acura expected to sell 55,000 units and met that goal in the car's second year. The Legend gave customers features usually found in much more expensive cars at a much more affordable price with that famous high build quality. The sedan's interior was plush and super comfortable, complete with a banging system and a power freaking sunroof so you could look at the sky while you drive. Underneath, the Legend suspension featured a Honda staple, double wishbones in the front. Now, double wishbone suspension looks like this, and it was developed in Formula One racing. A little team called McLaren was using Honda engines in the mid-'80s and kicking a lot of butt. So Honda saw that McLaren was using double wishbone setups, and they thought, hey, that would probably work in our road cars. Now, Acura was so sure of the Legend that they only gave customers one option besides paint: the transmission. You could get a 4-speed auto or 5-speed manual, both of which were praised by auto journo types as being smooth, like Santana featuring Rob Thomas. It's a hot one. While the Legend was only available with the C25A in America, Japanese buyers had other interesting engine options, including a very small 2-liter V6. In 1987, Honda Japan offered a turbocharged version of this little tiny buzz boy, which used a special variable geometry turbo, or VGT. Now, these special turbos can change the amount of exhaust gases needed to get them spooled up by using actuated vanes. It's pretty freaking complicated, but long story short, they can make large amounts of boost while also keeping turbo lag to a minimum. Now, if you're thinking about C20AT swapping your Legend, be prepared to be patient, because Honda didn't sell very many of those cars with this engine, making them extremely rare. Now, back in the US, the Legend was selling well and quickly establishing Acura as a legit luxury brand. Things were a little different for the Sterling 800. Remember the Rover from before? Unfortunately for Rover, the Sterling used Rover electronics, which were notoriously faulty and quickly bombed the Sterling's reputation. The Rover 800 would soon leave the US market just 5 years after its debut, with less than 2,500 units sold. On the flip side, Acura was just getting started. 2 years after the sedan's debut, Acura added the Legend Coupe to the lineup. And as the name suggests, this Legend was a coupe, meaning it only had 2 doors. Had a larger 2.7-liter V6 under hood, making 161 pony boys power them front wheels. The Acura experiment was officially a success and inspired other Japanese manufacturers to launch their own luxury lines. Toyota has Lexus, Nissan gave birth to Infiniti. Acura achieved their goal of breaking into the luxury market and caught more established brands off guard. Now was the time for Acura to punch them in the tummy, then punch them in the face. Ding, 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 ding. The second-gen Legend debuted in late 1990. The styling borrowed cues from Acura's new NSX supercar, which launched that same year. Now, I gotta tell you, the second-gen Legend freaking blew people's minds. And how could it not? The new Legend looked amazing. Ooh, wow. My mind is blown. The proportions and stance made it look like a rear-wheel drive car, but it wasn't. How'd they do that? Well, instead of mounting the engine transversely, Acura engineers mounted the new 3.2-liter V6 longitudinally. The result was a longer and lower hood line, which gave the Legend very sporty dimensions. Inside the car, the hits just kept on coming. Automatic climate control, had a freaking car phone in it, heated leather seats, wheel-mounted volume controls for your radio, and doors that used vacuums to suck them closed if they weren't closed all the way. Guys, this is 1991, all right? This stuff was groundbreaking, and the Germans were like, Scheiße! We do not have the doors that sucks themselves closed. Along with the new sedan, the Legend Coupe was back, baby, and it looked even better than before, with one of the most 90s rear ends of the decade. Right? In 1993, the C32A engine was upgraded to make even more power, baby, now pushing 230 horsepower. Acura offered a 6-speed manual as an option for the Coupe, making it one of the few cars available at the time with that many gears. People were like, whoa, 6 gears? That's crazy, man. Fun fact, from 1994 to 1999, the Legend name continued living on under the Daewoo brand. The Daewoo Legend was pretty basic compared to some of the more optioned out Legends from Honda and Acura, but compared to other cars Korean companies were building at the time, the Korean Legend was one of the most sophisticated cars in the entire country. The Acura Legend lived up to its name. It crossed the pond and showed everyone that Acura knew how to build a great car. The Legend is a legend. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Acura Legend down in the comments below. Follow Donut on Instagram and Twitter at Donut Media. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at James Pumphrey. Go get yourself some merch. Tell your mom you love her. I love you. Bye.